One of the reasons why men leave their marriage after years of togetherness is because they don't feel appreciated by their wives. Men are natural providers. They are created to protect and provide for the ones they love, but in providing for them, they can be overwhelmed sometimes by the pressure of it all, and they begin to feel used instead of responsible. When a man feels underappreciated, he is likely to feel used instead of being happy that he is providing for his loved one. Truth be told, it is not easy to go all out of your way trying to provide for your family, and at the end of the day, the wife is not contented with his efforts. She complains, nags, and compares him to every other husband out there, forgetting that every man is different in their level of income, but they all have an ego. A man can bear it for a while, but with time, he will get frustrated and the pressure will push him to want to leave that marriage without considering the number of years he has spent in the marriage. Except your husband is idle and doesn't like to work to provide for his family, then you have the right to be unappreciative. But if not, no matter how little he brings, a man deserves to be appreciated. As simple as the word thank you to your spouse is, it goes a long way in keeping your marriage. There is a level of satisfaction that comes when your spouse is appreciative towards what you do for them. For the men, it makes them feel like a king, and if a man is not feeling like this, it's only a matter of time before he makes up his mind to leave the marriage, no matter the number of years you both spent together. Another reason why men leave their marriage after years of togetherness is that they no longer find anything interesting in their wives anymore. People change because that's the only constant thing. It's troubling that after 10 years of marriage, some men still want their wife to look the way she looked when they got married, behave the way she did then, and we know that it's not possible. We often hear men say we don't share any interest anymore, and you begin to wonder what went wrong. The truth is, in marriage, you are supposed to grow together. When one person growing and the other is not, you both stand the risk of falling out of love with your partner. Men and women respond to change differently. A woman can manage to stay in a marriage even if you don't share same interests anymore, and that's because she can give all of her love to the children and other activities which give her joy, but a man wants more. He wants the same wife he got married to all those years to still be the same. Your body size should be the same, and that's why most times you see them cheating with someone who looks like the version of their wife when she was younger. It's also not possible for people's interests to remain the same after a lot of years, but some men like consistency, and therein lies the problem. It's not possible your character remains the same too. There must have been things that will make you change. A man can get tired of the marriage and decide to leave if his interest is no longer there. He prefers to be out there with just about who can share similar interests with him. Beloved, the only way out of this problem is growing together with your spouse. You can always learn new hobbies, and for the men, you can teach your wife. A marriage that lasts long comes when the partner involved have decided to remain committed to the relationship. It's no magic, but hard work. Also, men leave their marriage after years of together when their wives have become more of a mother than a spouse. A man has spent half of his life with his mother. He does not need to spend his remaining years with another version of his mother. Nothing is interesting or desirable when your wife reminds you of your parents, especially if you don't want that. A wife that constantly nags, complains, and tries to control your every movement is only trying to be your mother again. Most men don't like to be treated this way. They want a partner who makes them feel capable, desirable, and masculine. A partner that intrigues them. A man can decide to work out of his marriage if he no longer feels this connection. Other times, the wives also dress like their mothers, thereby making themselves less attractive for the husband to come close. So beloved, imagine putting all these characteristics into the wife of a particular man. Honestly, it's going to be by the grace of God that the man has stayed this long. A man wants a lovely home that he can run back to after the day's work, and not someone who will increase the pressure they have already with their nagging. This man will do everything possible to remain out. If you want a lasting marriage, as long as it depends on you, try your best to give your husband peace. A man will go anywhere to get peace, and that is just how most women leave their husbands. A man can bear this nagging and behaving like his mother's attitude for a while, but the moment they get the opportunity of meeting someone who brings out the man inside them, it takes only the grace of God to save the marriage. More so, men leave their marriages after years of togetherness if the sex is lacking. I know we don't like hearing this, but it is the truth and needs to be said. Many homes have been broken and marriages dissolved based on lack of sex. Men are sexual creatures, and that's why a man can leave the woman he loves and go out to look for someone who matches and satisfies their desire. A man's hormones affect what they do, so when sex is lacking, it leads to a problem. It has also been proven that a man and his wife, the wife becomes less interested in sex, while the man's need for sex increases, and this is why most men may decide to leave their marriage after years of togetherness, because she can no longer fulfill this purpose. I know that sex cannot keep a marriage, but it is one of the important things that put spice and bring happiness in your marriage. It takes only a man who is deeply rooted in Christ to not fall into adultery because his wife no longer fulfills his sexual desires. Also, when it comes to sex, another problem is that the wife is no longer responsive to their sex life like she used to. The man begins to feel he's no longer attractive. A man likes feeling this way because it gives him the satisfaction that he is still desirable and wanted. If he should stop getting this feeling, he will go anywhere to get it. Sex is not enough to hold a marriage, but when it's lacking, it becomes one of the reasons why a man might decide to leave his marriage after years of togetherness. Lastly, a man can decide to leave his marriage after years of togetherness if the relationship is toxic. A toxic marriage can be draining for both partners, and it's only a matter of time before one becomes the death of another. A toxic relationship is one in which one of the partners is obsessively jealous, controlling behavior, fighting without resolution, and the rest of them. A man can become fed up with all of this, and this will push him to leave the marriage no matter the number of years he has spent in the marriage. I've already said that it is almost impossible trying to make a man change his mind. A relationship where your partner does not support you will only leave you feeling drained of all your energy. And most men cannot handle this pressure, so they go for the easiest way out. A toxic relationship will not be of any good to either of the partners. Not all the relationships end up in breakup, and some suffer silently. Men cannot handle the pressure that a woman can carry, so if you can help them, make it easier to remain committed to the marriage at all costs. As always, remain blessed.